For the past several years, the most popular strobes in the lighting market have included the Shootout Professional Strike M, popularized in 2022, and the German light products JDC 1, released in 2017. Today's shootout is going to pit these fixtures head-to-head, comparing and contrasting each of the features, and giving you some insight into what's going to be best for your show. Let's go ahead with the Superstrobe shootout. Starting with ingress protection, the Strike M sports an IP65 rating, whereas the JDC has no IP rating listed. This can be an issue if your show is outside, or if the pyrotechnics vendor doesn't know what they're doing and leaks pyro fluid all over your fixture. Comparing size, the Strike M is 12 inches tall and the JDC is 9 3/4 inches tall. The Strike M's face is 15 3/4 inches wide, whereas the JDC is only 15 inches wide. The Strike M with a bracket on weighs in at 27 pounds, whereas its counterpart, the JDC, weighs in at 26 pounds. Moving on to power consumption, both units have auto-switching power supplies which can be used on 120 or 240 volt systems and sport true 1 connectors. The Strike M draws 716 watts. The JDC draws 1200 watts. Next up, we've got control modes. The Strike M sports Mode 1 at 8 channels, Mode 2 at 11 channels, Mode 3 at 13 channels, Mode 4 at 24 channels, Mode 5 at 30 channels, Mode 6 at 47 channels, Mode 7 at 68 channels, Mode 8 at 74 channels, and Mode 9 at 97 channels. The JDC has Mode 1 at 14 channels, Mode 2 at 23 channels, Mode 3 at 68 channels, Mode 4 at 62 channels, and Mode 5 at 17 channels. Comparing output, the Strike M plate outputs 18,600 lumens. The rail outputs 54,381 lumens, for a total of 71,620 lumens. The JDC plate outputs 13,195 lumens, whereas the rail outputs 59,262 lumens, for a total of 74,329 lumens. Getting down to price point, the Strike M can be found for $3,875, and the JDC can be found for $5,599. So there you have the basics of these two strobes. Let's get into some of the important differences. If we take a look at the pixel mapping on both fixtures, it's obvious that Shootout added an instance to each plate, as well as a second strobe rail, which has been the bane of every LD show file since it was released. However, in 2024, Shootout released update 4.0 for the Strike M, which alleviated this issue by adding a 68 channel profile, which is just a mirror image of the 68 channel profile from the JDC. Patching a JDC into the console will now control the Strike M near flawlessly. However, the workaround produces the following changes to the Strike M. Instances 1 and 2 as well as 8 and 9 on the plates are now combined. Instances 1 and 2 as well as 15 and 16 on the strobe rail are combined. And finally, it actually combines the dual strobe rail into a single rail. Most of these changes are just fine, but having that first instance be big and fat is going to look weird on your show if you use a lot of plate effects. The final note I have for this shootout is related to speed. Although tilt is not one of the most used attributes on either one of these fixtures, it's almost comical how much faster the JDC is compared to the Strike M. A strong case can be made for each of these fixtures. Personally, I'm not a big fan of intellectual property theft, and I don't think there's any substitute for originality, so I'm going to give the win to this one to the JDC one. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments, smash that like button, and be sure to subscribe.
Yo, make sure you watch Outer Pass cleaning videos, dude. He knows everything. He's the smartest man alive.
Smartest man alive.